here today to visit with Nicholas Demel a little bit about his job and Bamert Seed as a whole. But Nicholas, would you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your title and your background.
My name's Nicholas Demel. I grew up in Pep, Texas, just a couple of miles down the road. Grew up on a family farm. Farmed for a couple of years with my dad and father-in-law, and then went back to school. Worked for USDA NRCS for 5 years, and kind of fell into working with Bamert Seed Company. So I've been blessed to be here about 8.5 years now.
Yeah, and the company's been blessed to have you and your skill set here also, Nicholas. Can you tell us a little bit about how you feel your background growing up on a family farm and then your work with NRCS has allowed you to be successful with our customers?
A lot of our customers have had dealings with NRCS or USDA or some other type of government agency. So a lot of times that kind of opens the door for them understanding that you may know kind of the ins and outs of what they do and understand their programs and their regulations and their standards and stuff that they have to stick to.
How much time do you spend helping our customers understand how to plant that seed?
You know, it's different for every customer. Typically, whenever they first call in, a lot of times they have no idea what they're trying to accomplish. They want grass there, but they have no idea what they need to do to get it established. So that's typically kind of what I start off with, like, what equipment do you have available? How many acres are we working with? What do you want it to look like when you're done? What sort of price point are we trying to stay in? Are you wanting flowers out there? Are we talking just grasses? So it's different for all of them. But after the first time that they buy an order, they call back the next time. They kind of already have the process down of what they need to do and how they need to do it.
Great. So thinking back, I think you said 8.5 years ago when you started. What surprised you most when you first got here about the company and then maybe about the industry also?
I would say kind of together, what surprised me the most was maybe how well Bamert is known industry-wide. Because I remember one of the first things I had to do was call and order in some seed. And I was calling 3 or 4 different places to get pricing on seed. And these people didn't know me, but they knew Bamert Seed. And it wasn't like I was calling Lubbock. Like I was calling different states like North Dakota, Wyoming. And these people knew who Bamert Seed was. And they didn't ask me any sort of particulars. They was just, what do you need? Here's your price. And whenever it came time to order the seed, they just shipped me several $1,000s worth of seed and that they didn't know me from anybody. So I was like, man, Bamert Seed is well known industry wide. So I think that was kind of what really blew me away.
Yeah, and I've seen that too. Over your 8 years, what changes as far as Bamert's reputation do you think you've seen? Do you think it's grown outside of the industry, the wholesale industry, into more of the end user, and different industries, reclamation, ag? Where do you see
Definitely. I would say when I first started, it seemed like we were more not so much focused on wholesale, but that was kind of where a lot of it was. And there was also a lot of folks calling in and knowing exactly what they wanted and just placing that order. Whereas now it seems like we're more of fixers, like folks call with problems and want to visit, wanting to know what they need to do to fix a particular problem, or a specific blend, and us making specific blends for their needs, versus just being more of a, this is what I want and ship it. And definitely nowhere near as much wholesale as it was, 8.5 years ago.
Sure. So maybe to that point, what challenges, what problems do you think that we fix or that we solve for our customers? And I'm sure those will vary across industries, but what are the main challenges you think we're able to fix for them?
I think a big part of it is getting them, ground stabilization or, just some sort of vegetation started, and a lot of times using like the least amount of equipment possible. Because a lot of times, folks don't have the ideal seeding equipment for the kinds of grass that we have. So trying to get them to be successful with what they have available to them versus having to go out and buy an expensive piece of machinery to get the job done.
Sure. What do you enjoy most about your job? What's the best part about coming in every day besides seeing me?
Man, you took the words right out of my mouth. There's I guess maybe a two-part answer. Years later, whenever people call in and say, I don't order much seed, but I ordered seed, 2 or 3 years ago, and that project really took off, and it, over the last 6 months, it's really developed into a really good looking pasture. I take pride in, especially if it's a blend that we helped develop. If they have no specs and no idea what they need to be planting. If we start from nothing, and a year or two later they have a really good established pasture, I take a lot of pride in knowing that we had a big role in that.
Yeah. One of the things you definitely bring to the team, and one of the ways you lead is your focus on the turnaround time, and the way you're able to quickly get back and provide service to our customer, no matter what they ask. What do you think that provides for our customers?
I think that instills in them that we're here for them, and their time is important to us. If they're having to wait to get a quote, or if they're waiting longer for their seed, to me that maybe they're thinking like these guys don't think that we're important. So no matter what size the order is, no matter if it's a 32 square feet front yard or something, like we're going to get you your seed. So no matter what size the project is, you're important to us.
Yeah, I agree, and I think our customers recognize that, and the rest of the team does too, and that rubs off. And I know timing seems to be an issue for a lot of our customers, and you're able to help them meet those restraints very well. So in your perspective, tell me a little bit about the dynamic of all three parts of our company, kind of the way we have them arranged: the production, the warehouse, and the sales. The dynamic, how all three of those groups work together, and then the value that each brings to what we're doing.
Sure. It's really amazing how well all three of those groups kind of converge into one big team. There's the production, the warehouse cleaning, and the order fulfilling, and then the sales. But it seems like more often than not, they just kind of converge into whatever needs to be done. That's where we're focusing all our time and energy. So it's really amazing that many different individuals can come together and really work for whatever needs to be done, and focus on that particular item.
Sure. I agree. It is how amazing, and how each other all feel accountable to each other.
Sure.
And it seems like we've kind of all adopted getting better every day, and it seems like each group continues to get better every day, and because we feel the accountability.
Sure.
What excites you most about the future of Bamert Seed?
Probably their ability to think outside the box, and constantly asking what can we do to improve, what technologies are out there, what ideas are out there that we can grab a hold of and see how we can improve what we're doing day to day. It's really amazing how the Bammerts take that to heart, and they listen to all of us, and whenever we have any sort of input and new ideas, and they really they seem to want to do the biggest and the best and the newest. So it's really comforting to know that we're working for people that are willing to think outside the box.
Yeah, it's fun to be a part of it.
It is, definitely is.
It's fun to be a part of it. So what are some of the common questions that you get asked from people outside the industry about what you do for a living?
Typically, folks will just say, like, so you sell grass seed.
Yeah.
So you sell grass seed. Well, and I tell them, like, that's maybe the end game. Like, you are selling grass seed, but we're fixing people's problems. And that's typically what I tell folks is, like, there's just a list of questions that I ask, like where are you at? What are we working with? Is there anything growing there now? What are you wanting in the future? Are we going to graze this? Are we going to hay it? Or are you just wanting it for ground cover? So, I mean, it's more of fixing a problem than just selling the seed.
Great.
Like, the size of the order, the size of the customer is not what's important. It's more or less them feeling like they're important, no matter if it's a 30,000 acre job or a 1,000 square feet front yard job. Like, just them realizing that we're here for them, no matter what size their project is.
Great. Yeah, I think you accomplished that. Is there anything else that you think everyone should know about your role here or about the company industry that we missed?
Man, it's just a great family-oriented company. Places I worked before, they'll say they're family-oriented, but to come to a place where people actually ask, like, how's Poppy doing, or how's your wife, or do y'all have fun at Disneyland, and sincerely actually mean it, it is really an amazing feeling.
Great. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir.